Got one over here, Tim.
Denny, Tom Jensen from SpeedTV.com. You talked about the frustration you had with some of the stuff going wrong at the start. Does this wipe the slate clean? Is it enough? You know, do you go into Texas now with enough momentum that you can quit worrying about that? And how do you think that's going to carry going forward?
Yeah, I mean, you definitely start to have doubts when, you know, things don't go your way, and you know, you just, you know, you hear it from the veterans that have been around the sport for 10, 20 years. If you just keep having fast race cars, eventually it's all going to turn around. Well, this bad luck's been happening, it seems like, for over a year, because we had, you know, when the Car Tomorrow first came out at the beginning of last year, we had a position to win 5 or 6 races easily, and just things never worked out for us. And so it's like, man, it's been a year. Let's get over it. Let's finally have something go our way. So, yeah, I mean, I definitely feel like maybe this is the turning point for our team, that, you know, we definitely perform better over time. It's just our luck's gotten worse and worse. So, yeah, maybe the monkey's off our back, and if it is, then I feel like we have a lot of confidence going forward, because I know we bring great race cars to the racetrack each week.
Got a question over on the other way. Go ahead.
Diego Mejia, Autosport.com. Denny, I noticed you did most of the race with the visor up. Was there any particular reason for that?
Well, I couldn't see much out of my windshield anyway because of the mist, and I had a darker shield on. So, you know, really, on the shorter tracks for some reason, where these it's very, very line sensitive. I like to be focused. You have too many layers of windshield, you know, visor in between. Things start to get disoriented. So I feel like, you know, if I have a clear shot of knowing where I'm going, I'm going to have a better chance of hitting my marks. And it just seems like on these short tracks, I just kind of run with my visor up. Probably not the safest thing, but, you know, it works.
Go upstairs for another question. Go ahead.
Dustin Long, Landmark Newspapers. Denny, what races bothered you the most since your last win last year at New Hampshire?
Well, Bristol really frustrated us. Atlanta was definitely a very frustrating race with no power steering there. But it's just been, you know, Daytona was a big bummer for us because we had a car that was very, very fast and just had an incident on pit road, had to go to the back of the pack. And at the time, you didn't want to go to the back of the pack. And, of course, we found ourselves in a wreck. So, you know, those races are just, those were very tough. Because we knew each year, you know, even though we had our best points finish in 2006, we performed better in 2007, and we're performing even better in 2008. So, you know, even though the stats don't show it, we may not be there in the standings, we're running better. And as long as we keep this good luck on our side now, then we're going to be, you know, where we belong, and that's up top.
Other questions upstairs?
Any Mike and JD both said that you can be, I think the word they used was moody. When you're not running well, you're not a happy camper, and I know that shouldn't surprise anybody. But I mean, do you take this? I mean, you know, this is obviously your job. Do you take it personally when when things aren't going well? Is that something that you dwell on maybe a little bit too much, or? I mean, obviously they said Mike said it was a good sign when he can make you happy, then things are going pretty well. What did you have to say about that?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely am, for sure. I think I'm just like any other, you know, guy that kind of grew up the way I did as far as racing is concerned. I'm competitive. I'm competitive at everything I do, whether it's racing or whatever. You know, but it's hard to go out here and know that you have race-winning cars and not come home with a win. So that frustrates me because I know there's not that many opportunities that you have the best car, you know, from week to week. I mean, you know, any given average driver is probably going to have the best car maybe once or twice a year, you know, maybe not even that much, you know, through a course of a season. So to have ours, you know, maybe we felt like we had the best car the first 2 or 3 races of the season, to not have wins, that's frustrating because, you know, you feel like you're not getting wins, you're not getting the, you know, the notoriety that you feel like your team deserves. So, yeah, I mean, you find yourself getting moody about it, but, you've got to, me and Mike had a long conversation last year about trying to find happiness in different ways other than winning, because ultimately we're in a losing game, because you're going to lose more races than you're going to win. So you got to be happy with knowing that you're making strides, and I think, slowly but surely I'm starting to figure that out.
Any other questions upstairs?
Not right now.
Okay, let's come back down here. Get the mic there to Dominic.
Denny, it's got a quick one. How many did you race here before you got to Captain? How many times, and how did that help you to perform here once you got in the big leagues?
Well, I've raced here probably 3 times in the late model series, and they're 300-lapper, 200-lapper. They run here each fall. And that was our Super Bowl race, is to come here at Martinsville. So this has always been a big racetrack to me. When 120 late models showed up and we made the race for the first time when I was a rookie in the late model series, that was a huge deal for me. So this track has always been my Super Bowl, I guess you could say. Now I guess you could say it's probably Richmond, but it's a track where I have a lot of laps at, and eventually you start to figure out little things that can help your car when it's not performing at its best, to maybe try to make passes. And I feel like having so many laps around this racetrack, it kind of helped me get from the mid-pack to the front towards the end of that race. So you get around a place, you learn kind of niches and little things about it that help you. And I mean, that's why you see Jeff and those guys that have so much experience, why they're so good. They know the crack and crevices of each racetrack that we go to. So eventually in years to come, hopefully I'll figure that out. But here it's just I have a little bit more experience.
Anything else downstairs for Denny? Got something, Dominic? Okay.
I did. I finished 12th, I believe, the first time I was ever here, or something like that. And the next 2 years, I qualified on the pole for the race here out of the 100 and some cars, and just something happened. Never won a race here, so it's definitely special to finally break through here and get one of those clocks.
Denny, congratulations.
Thanks.
Enjoy that grandfather clock. Great win for you. Have a good week.